What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Cars with Abe. First of all, I am so sorry. This is really not the video that I wanted to make because I want to get this beast up and running, and unfortunately the brakes that I had ordered, well, they didn't get delivered in time. Now they're on their way now, but trust me guys, my anxiety level is through the roof because I want to get this thing back up and going and on the road. So I sincerely apologize that this is probably not the video that you guys want to watch at this point, but I figured, hey, you know what, an interesting video would be how much did it actually cost to start this vehicle after it's been sitting for years and years. But this might give you more of an idea since this is a budget build, so you might be surprised. And another thing, thank you so much for all the support and the new subs. I welcome you. Anyway, so without further ado, enough mumble jumble, let's go ahead and dive right in to all the repairs. We had the oil filter. Most of these parts are O'Reilly's, so you know, since we're on a budget guys, yeah, they're cheap parts. If you guys want more like Motorcraft parts or original parts, then by any means this is going to be a more of an expensive build for you. But honestly, you know, for this point in this Ford's life, my ultimate goal is to just get it running, really. So oil filter, we have $8.99. The oil, we have $19.99. I did buy a bunch of PB Blaster, and that was $6.49. So that's a lifesaver, guys. I mentioned it in one of my previous videos, and you guys have to have it if you're dealing with some rust or bolts that haven't been removed for a long time. Moving on, we have the ignition coil. That was $24.99. We have a starter fluid can, which is $3.49. Then I also bought the actual positive and negative cables for this vehicle. Now you can get universal cables and the terminals and separately to where you just kind of clamp them and put them together, but I actually found the OEM positive and negative cables to this vehicle, and I was actually surprised on the cost because it wasn't that much difference after I add up the terminals. Purchasing the terminals separate, those would have been like a few bucks or so, and then the cable, just random cable that's, you know, a foot long or something like that for the positive and negative, it would have been like, you know, around $7. So for the positive cable, for instance, the actual OEM cable, it was $8.49. I was like, well, why not pay a little bit extra just to not have to deal with clamping the battery terminal onto the cable and so on and so forth. So I thought that was just a reasonable buy at that point. So now I have bought a starter for this vehicle. I don't know if you guys heard, but whenever we start this vehicle, it does seem like the starter stays engaged a little bit. So I was thinking about returning it and spending the money on something else, but I don't know how I feel about that, because at this point I think I want to keep it in case the starter actually goes out and then we have something to replace it. But for right now, we're going to include the starter. That was $56.99. Ignition wires was $25.99. There's just nothing special on the ignition wires. They were just bare, the low totem pole parts, the cheapest ones that you could get pretty much at O'Reilly's, but they work, and that's what matters. We have spark plugs. I did go with the Autolite spark plugs, $3.79 a piece. And then the battery cost me $109, so $109.99. It did have an $18 core, which I did get back. That's already taken care of, but just the price alone for the battery was $109. Then you have the negative battery terminal. Now the negative battery terminal cost me $13.99. Again, that was for the OEM battery terminal. Honestly, I thought that was a good deal for purchasing that one. Little things like that, I feel like, you know, will just kind of help move along the process a lot quicker. It's a couple of bucks more or so, so I figure, you know, time versus money on that, it's probably, you know, just go ahead and pay a little more. Once we got it up and running, we went ahead and just on my last video, we did a tune-up. We changed the points, the condenser, the distributor cap, the rotor, including those spark plugs and ignition wires that I previously stated. Now, the points, again, cheap parts, guys. Points, $7.99. Now, let me make something clear. I didn't actually have to buy the points, distributor cap, rotor, all that stuff, just to get it running. I wanted to buy that to get it running better. The distributor rotor was $3.99. Distributor cap was $8.99. And the condenser is $4.99. Can't forget the $87.24 fuel pump. Including the fuel pump and all the parts, we are looking at a grand total of $564.13. That's a grand total to get the vehicle up and running. So if we're talking about the actions that it took to get the vehicle here, it cost me $354.33 extra to get the vehicle here. Now, that includes a tow, and that includes tires. That may be more of a specific situation to you, but I had to get new tires for the vehicle in order for it to roll onto the tow truck. And I can't forget the brakes. So the brakes have already been ordered. Now this is the most expensive part that I have spent on this vehicle so far. It might change actually. So front and rear disc brake conversion on this car, a total of $1,600. For everything. Now that might change a little bit because the rear brakes, we might end up just going with drum brakes. I want it to be as safe, as updated as possible as far as safety items such as the brakes and stuff like that, which four-wheel drum brakes, that's pretty old school. So the build is for the intention of driving it as much as possible, enjoying the vehicle, taking it to car shows, which I will upload those videos as well. That's why I'm going with disc brakes, but I might settle for rear drum brakes because that will save me about a $300 to $400 price tag. Anyways, without further ado, this effectively ends today's video. Next video, it should be about installing the brakes, and hopefully we can get this baby running and driving out on the road. Again, thank you so much for your support. Smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.